Hi.
Happy Sunday, friends. How is everybody doing?
We're here.
We are here, present and accounted for. This is my friend Nancy Jean from Nancy Jean's Garden, and we are here today to do some past life readings.
Mm-hmm.
She has her past life reading. Do we call it? It's a garden, right?
It's a garden. It's called the Oracle Garden Past Life Edition.
There you go.
It's either an edition from my past life or it's to do that. So,
Gotcha. So, Nancy Jean, before we get started, I'm going to stick your link in the chat so that people can go to your channel and subscribe if they don't already, if they're not already subscribed to your channel.
Mm-hmm.
And subscriptions are free, and it's a great way to support the other readers, all the readers on YouTube. We do appreciate it. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like and share if you think anyone that you know would like the content. And we will mention this at the end, but next Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we will be on Nancy Jean's channel.
Yeah.
Yay. So, hi to everyone in the chat. A cup of tea with $3 worth of sugar and cookies. I love that. I love your name. Is here. Lise is here. G. Covington is also here. Diana O is here. Thank you, everybody. JL Vader is here. Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. So, Nancy Jean, you said that you were on with Scott today. It was a good show.
Yeah. We're definitely people are off the Trump train and they're asking about other things.
Yeah.
And they're asking about broader things. And they're trying to figure out what they can do. Now, I will tell you, I had the flu this week. And so from Tuesday night on and then, I slept like 12 hours one day. I didn't watch any news or anything because if I watched anything, I watched historical dramas, historical documentaries that are on YouTube because they're easy for me to watch from my bed. And I caught up with a couple of what I call the long-winded readers. They're very, very information dense, but a lot of times I don't have much time to watch them and really watch them. And I watched Heather Ensworth, who's an astrologer and a cosmologist and a studier of all sorts of celestial patterns, and ran into a woman who's offering a class I'm going to take in the next month because she's like me. She melds together the typical metaphysical sciences, but she also works with the elementals. She works with the T force. She works with realigning your energy for healing, all that kind of stuff. And
Awesome.
I liked her approach, so I think I'm gonna go take her class.
Lovely.
But in all that stuff, I didn't watch any news because that would have required going to the front of the house where the TV channels that get news.
Right.
And when I turned it on, I hadn't missed a thing since the last time I'd seen it,
Which
and
is good.
and it really, I felt like I already felt bad enough without having to deal with the stupidity that was happening out there.
Right.
And there's actually a daily talk show that I listen to on progressive radio in the morning. And I turned her off because I was just like, I don't need to hear any more of this. I mean, you can look at these guys all day long and they're not going to get a bit smarter.
No. True enough. To me, it's like listening to a hockey game or any sports commentator.
Mm-hmm.
It's just constant, blah, 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 you know what I mean? It's like, okay. So we have 5 questions already, which is fantastic. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. This is Nancy Jean from Nancy Jean's Garden, and let us begin with our first question. This is Diana O, and she says, hello and happy Sunday. Would really appreciate a past life reading as it relates to my current life, purpose, and relationships.
Okay.
So I'm going to. Are you going to do the? You're going to do the garden?
I'm going to do cards.
Okay.
Because
On the
she wants about her, because I can ask about her current life.
Yeah.
With the cards.
So I've just put you in the hot spot there. Hi,
Mm-hmm.
Thomas.
I don't know if Diana can respond to this, but have you ever had any past life regressions? Have you ever done anything at all? Or is this kind of new to you? And if you want to know about past life regression, that's where you're actually hypnotized and they go through your soul base and talk to it about that. Okay. Let's see. What is one of the past lives that's directing Diana right now? I'm going to ask about right now. Okay. And this card in the middle, what the way I'll explain to you what you're looking at here. These cards are the past life, and these three cards, the ones pointing up, are your life right now. And it looks like you've made a lot of shifts that are positive because you chose to come in with love in your heart, as opposed to I'm going to get those bastards. Um, and you had a lot of feeling about that. You got trapped in a past life. You were a man. You were supposed to be able to run the show. You were supposed to be able to know what was going on, but you were never allowed to move forward. You're never allowed to get your chariot activated. You accomplished absolutely none of your goals, and you felt very cut off from people because of that. So this time, you've come in with love in your heart. And I think this man may have been a very aggressive person. It's not like the world just decided to pick on him. It's like he went out of his way to find bad situations. But in this life, you came in with your primary goal was to bring in love and light as opposed to opposition and blocking people. You don't allow yourself to fall into victimhood, and you tend to walk away from battles, but you still have had unhappy situations with your family of origin. But I'm going to see about that.
She did say that, yes, I had a past life regression about 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just to answer that question.
Okay. So you had kind of a difficult family life you were born into, but you chose to learn from the stress of that and move on. You freed yourself from where you felt imprisoned, and now you're living this life. You've got the Knight of Cups, and you came in with the Ace of Cups. So I would think you're really working with your karma. You really, really are, and you're making up in this life how you're behaving about things from what he did. And this time, I imagine you're getting more of your goals. You're not getting everything, but you're learning how to be a well-rounded human being and not destroying everything in its wake. So it looks really good. Let me see if I'm trying to pick a time. A time. He was in the middle 1700s. The life that karma came from. That's where it coalesced. It started, and it was in Europe, and it was in a country whose name I can't say. I mean, not because I can't say it, guys. I don't know what it is. The letters that I'm seeing are the print I'm seeing, which may mean it was a Slavic country because the script I'm seeing that he's sort of seeing around him makes no sense. He wasn't a full blown warlord, but he was definitely an SOB. You got anything you want to say? And you're beating him. I mean, now you're learning what it feels like to live a life in balance.
Awesome. Diana says, thank you. Did see myself in the past wearing Hessian boots, married to my current female BFF, and I wasn't a nice man. That's interesting. So,
Mm-hmm.
Diana, this is what I got for you. So, I pulled 3 tarot cards and 2 of the past life oracle cards. So, we start out with the Ace of Fire, right? So, being motivated, being
Mm-hmm.
sort of um, creative, and really
Mm-hmm.
really like I got a plan. I know what I want to do. I know what I work, like where I want to go. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
all full of like, you know, um chutzpah, I want to say, for lack of a better way to put it. We have the wise counselor. That's what it's called in this deck, the Hierophant in the traditional tarot. This is about belonging. It's about traditions, following in the line of what is given to you, right? So I feel
Mm-hmm.
very much like what Nancy Jean was saying, like you just sort of like fell into your place, but you weren't actually like going anywhere, if that makes sense. The last card that I got is the Seven of Fire. So feeling challenged all the time, right? But determined to shift, but not quite understanding how to shift. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the Star card. So this is about your faith, right? Your fulfillment. And I think that if you have issues in current times with a feeling of fitting in or a sense of belonging or being able to figure out your direction or your path, that's what this message is sort of implying, that it comes from a past life. Nancy Jean picked up on the coming into the world with love as your
Mm-hmm.
number one purpose, and we start out here with wisdom, right? You have that wisdom in you. It's locating it and bringing it out that you might be having difficulty with. And what I mean by that is trusting that. That's what that Star card is about, right? It's about having faith in that. And I also got the Farm card. Now, to me, the Farm card is about home. It's
Mm-hmm.
about that sense of belonging. It's about working together, right? It's, out in the fields doing your thing, and then everyone coming together around the harvest table and sort of, talking about the day. And so I feel very much like a sense of belonging is something that you really strive for. Not sure if that makes sense or not, but that's what I got.
No, makes sense.
Okay, so we've got lots of people here. So far, we've got 10 questions, so we're going to stop them there. I've got, let me just read them out here. So we've got G. Covington, Cupate, J.L. Vader, Lise, Thomas, Mika, Siwi, Tasty Melon, and Long Mantra.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go up here and pick G. Covington. Thank you very much, Diana, for your question, and thank you, everyone, for being here. Lee says, Nancy, I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I saw it in a catalog and I thought, that looks so pretty. It looks like a church window.
There you go. G. Covington says, a reader told me that I will meet a spouse from a former life in 2023. In the past life, we were the opposite gender. Is there a reason we are meeting later, older in this life? That's a great question.
Yeah, it is. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I'm going to go to using the Oracle Garden, and the first question I'm going to ask is, were you two connected in a former life strongly? Okay, I think this is someone you were married to before. Yeah, I know they said spouse from a former life, but I always like to check that stuff. Was it in the last 500 years?
Wow.
No. So it's from 1000 to 1500. Was it from 1000 to 1500? Yes. Okay. Was it in the first 100, the first century? Okay. And did you have power in that time? If you guys don't know what I'm looking for, when it swings away from me, that means a yes. Okay, you were the power couple of your time. That's what I was picking up. Okay. And that's probably why you're coming back together now, is because we're shifting into where we need people who can use share their power equally. So let's see. These stones are petrified wood, amber, citrine, and quartz. And the petrified wood and the amber are vibrations from the past, and the citrine and the quartz are things we may straighten out in this life. That's how you read those stones. Where did you go? Okay. Okay. You two have been connected by destiny, and I think you've been together before this life. And the reason that you're meeting older is because you met younger in that life, and in this life, you need more stability. This person is going to help you recover from a sense of loss you've had in this life. This is the citrine, and that's kind of a good luck stone. And they're going to help you release and clear up the energies of your life. What I'm putting together from these things is, in the past life, you were like a power couple and you did a lot of good things. And that's why you haven't met up again until now, because meeting later in life, now you're going to have more ability to do really positive things with each other. And let me just do a quick, are they going to meet in 2023? Okay. It's going to be a just thing. It's when you get out, and it's not going to be at a party. It's when you get out and you quit hiding in whatever you hide behind to just avoid being with people. It's not going to be on a trip, and it's not going to be a point of high tension. So I think you're going to meet them when you're out just enjoying yourself. So you want to take over, kiddo?
Yep. So I agree with everything that Nancy Jean said, not just because Nancy Jean is awesome, but because my cards agree. So we start out with vows. So implying that you were together in some manner. And what I think is interesting is that I got the Native American card. And when I seen this card, my first instinct said to me that this is about like a ceremony, like a sacred bond. You know, when they go inside the tents and they sort of commune, and that's where they do all these ceremonies. So I felt like the vows, the bond, like there's a strong connection there.
Yeah.
And the next card that I got was lessons and blessings. So in terms of why now, because you had lessons to learn individually that you can then bring together, and benefit from the blessings of the lessons that you've learned. And I pulled one other card just because, and this is from the root chakra. This is about grounding, right? So stability is what sticks out to me on this card, and you two coming together will continue to build the stability as it did back then. That's what I think this is about, which is lovely. I want to say, Longman Tarot says this is fascinating. I've never seen this before. Thank you, Nancy and Kelly.
One of the things I'd say, when you have the kind of bonding you had, and you were the power couple in your area, and wherever it was by water. You carry that vibration of that accomplishment through your lives as you're building your other strengths again.
Yeah.
And this time of change, we really need people who innately understand each other.
Right.
Okay.
Queen of Sheba, we've closed the questions, but I'll star you, and if we can fit you in, we will. But we thank you very much for asking. So up next, we have a cup of tea with $3 worth of sugar and cookies. I am very connected to ancient Japanese culture. Does it relate to my past life?
Okay. Put it in the middle of the camera.
Yep.
You do that. I can't do it. I have to sit here. Okay.
G. Covington says the new power couple. Thank you.
I
love it.
I'm asking if cup of tea was related to the Japanese culture in a past life that's affecting her. Yes, very much. That back and forth like that means yes, very much. And we're going to see in that culture, were you male or female? Definitely female, because if you can see it's swinging much farther into the part of the thing that says female. I don't know how old you are now, but did you, when you died, were you older or younger? Older. Did you consider? Well, I'm going to throw the stones in at this point. I'm going to see what I can picture out of what I throw in the stones of what that life was like for you. Okay. You had a lot of harmony in that life, which was really important.
Mm-hmm.
You embraced your life. I think you are now connected with a male or a male energy in this life that was from that life. And in a way, it clarified for you being female, being feminine because of the other energies that were around you at that time. I'm going to ask one more. What was her harmony about? When you got older, you went through a very interesting life in that life. You had a lot of bits and pieces that came into it, and what fascinates you about the Japanese culture, um, that's what fascinates you about the Japanese culture. You're like looking back and seeing things that were familiar to you. I'm going to ask one more question for you. Was cup of tea from a wealthy family? Yes, you came from a wealthy family. So you had affluence in that life, you had privilege in that life, you found great harmony in that life. That's the roots of the sense of harmony you bring into life. So your instincts are very right. So keep watching those documentaries about Japanese culture.
I love that. I just pulled a few quick cards for you. I've got the spirituality and religion card.
Mm-hmm.
I also pulled the communal living card.
Mm-hmm.
I got the vows. And then I've got transportation. And so I feel that the reason that culture feels like that, you feel such a strong sort of pull towards it, is because you felt a sense of like oneness, right?
Mm-hmm.
You felt accepted, and it would be interesting, if we had more time, to do like a whole big reading for you, because I wonder to myself if you left the money and moved towards a more communal sort of what's the word I'm looking for? More communal setting to feel more accepted. I'm picking up on that strongly. That there was something that you needed to get from that experience, if that makes sense. And I think that that's what continues to draw it toward, or draw you to it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Richie. Hi, Gina. Hi, Sharon Sipe. All right. So J. Vader is up next and says, I would love a past life reading if time allows.
Okay. So I think for you, we're going to start with the cards. And the form I put the cards in, I learned it as a Spirit 7, and then just one day I realized you could pull past lives out of it. This is not from a book or anything else. This is just from having read cards for probably way too long. J.O.
Whoops. Sorry.
What happened? We're doing
I put the wrong question up there. There you go.
Okay. Oh. And did you have a fun past life? Ooh. Okay. Okay, this is the past life. And this is the second time we've gotten this. None of the goals you wanted to achieve you couldn't achieve them. You didn't have the money to do it. And I think you got caught in a time of war. So in this life, you came in with the idea, I'm never going to get trapped. I'm not going to get trapped. So you've always built very strong defenses around yourself, and you've always managed to make things work. And especially right now, you don't feel like you have to observe and wait anymore. You can just move forward because you've got the hangman in there. I'm going to see about him. About that vibration for you. Yeah, you've decided that you're going to take the role of kind of the entrepreneur and the person who thinks of great new ideas, and you'll do it even if you have to kind of battle people a little bit, because you're not going to get trapped in other people's intentions. And right now you're looking for your soul's harbor, and the best you've got all the ability to do it. Let's see if we can figure out where to find this. Okay, the only way you can hurt yourself is if you don't keep your mind open to the high priestess and to the things that are hidden, to the more occult things. And you need to put the time in to do it. And it's not going to make or break your life if you don't. But
Wow.
Right now you're avoiding dealing with the higher.
Can you see that?
Uh-huh. So you need to accept who you are more. You can switch away from me because I've kind of you can switch.
Okay. So JL, I got some interesting cards for you. So we start out with the spirituality and religion card, the high priestess or high priest. I also got the mother card, as well as the orphan card. I got the farm card again, and then I've got leaving or travel. And so I feel very much like a total search, and this is the theme, obviously, for my cards today. That seems to be, this sense of like belonging. Where do I fit in? And also like just searching for acceptance and validation, right? Searching for love. And I feel very much like you sort of move towards a more spiritual sort of place to remove that sadness from your being or your world. that's what I've got for you. So I would say that, and I'm going out on a limb here, that you are either a very spiritual person now, or you're looking into spiritual practices. And I think that if you continue to grow that, or to embrace it, you will find that you are a really highly connected individual. I feel really strongly about that.
That's would make sense. And if they felt abandoned in the other life, then they would
Yeah.
have felt like they couldn't go on. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, everyone who's popped in. Thank you so much for being here. Up next, we have Lise. Lise says, I seem to like the 1890s, 1920s eras. Is there any significance to it, especially World War One? So we're going to stick Nancy Jean's Garden back in the hot spot
Okay.
there. I just want to mention, so for those of you that have popped in, we have closed the questions because the questions fill up fast. But next Sunday, we will be on Nancy Jean's channel at 3 p.m. Eastern doing the past life readings again. So,
And if you're a subscriber to my channel, which doesn't cost you anything except to hit the little subscribe button,
right.
I send and ask to be notified. I send out notifications for every time I'm on. And also what I do with my notifications is I give you an opportunity to write your question you might have at that time in comments.
Yep.
And we go through the comments first. And that makes it a little bit easier for us because we have a chance to plan about what people want to hear about and what's going on. The other thing I'll tell you is the readings we're doing right now, when I do past life readings as a reading session, and they can take over an hour. We look at all the aspects. We look at, sometimes we find interconnected past lives. There's a whole lot of ways to look at it. So what we're doing right now is what I used to do when I worked a tarot table in a wine bar and in a vintage clothing store. Somebody said, "Oh yeah, I'd like to know about my past life." That's the kind of quick reading I give people because I can't give you a long, drawn out one unless, first of all, we're talking to each other on Zoom or StreamYard, and secondly, I need input from people because I have impressions, but sometimes we can narrow it down. And it's really fascinating when you do a real full past life reading. Okay, now
I have benefited from volunteering to do 2 past life readings with Nancy Jean, one with the garden and one with the cards. And for those of you that follow me, you know that I am on a healing journey. And both times information was brought forward that provided me with a great sense of understanding and a great sense of relief, really, for my healing journey. So,
okay.
Go ahead, Nancy.
No, and the thing is, when I'm reading this stuff, this is just what I'm seeing, and I assume it's true because people tell me it is. But okay, we're gonna go see if were you in a were you who were you between 1890 and 1920? You were a male, and what age were you at that time? You were younger. I think World War One may have been important to you because you may have been in it. Did Lise fight in World War One? Yes. And let's see. Okay. Did Lise survive World War One? Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I know what happened. Okay. Did Lise die of the Spanish influenza when it swept the world? You did, and boy, I bet you freaked out when you saw COVID coming because that part of you remembered. Let's see. Let's see what we can find out about this person that you were, this young man. Okay. You I think you're in Europe. You were very tied to the land of your ancestors. You you made a lot of gain for your family in that life. You've done some parallels to what happened in that life, in this life, yeah. And but at the base, your ancestor stone, the amber, landed at free will. So free will was very important to you. I think you fought for England.
Yeah.
I felt that kind of family architecture. Do you want to go? Yeah.
Yeah. So um, I'm nodding my head in agreement because that's what I do, as if y'all
Mm-hmm.
can see what I'm doing. So I got the Eight of Water or the Eight of Cups to start out with, right? So when Nancy Jean was saying, "Did you survive?" Yes, that's you walking away from it, right? Walking
Mm-hmm.
away from the war. Following that, we have the Three of Water. That's a celebration, but not like it's not a wedding. It's more like at lunch with your BFFs, right? Like that
Mm-hmm.
kind of celebration. But it's about creation. It's about friendships, and I think that you walked away from that feeling so blessed that you walked away, that you use that to motivate you to propel forward. Um, almost like the things that you've seen, like you couldn't get them out of your mind kind of idea,
Mm-hmm.
which makes total sense. We have the star card here. So this is about being inspired, being filled with a sense of hope and belief, right? Um, I pulled the finances card, which Nancy Jean said that, you did very well for your family. I got the transportation card again, which is it possible that you made your fortune on the rail,
Well,
right?
after World War One, most train parts and most trains were built from mechanics that came out of England.
Right.
World War II really knocked them out of that market. So, if your family was from the Midlands and a manufacturer, you would have been involved in that kind of trade.
Yeah. So that's what I got for you. I think it's fascinating that you can learn these tidbits about your life, and it fits, it makes sense. Something that you've always wondered, why do I do a certain thing, all of a sudden now makes sense. So that's fascinating to me. So
Okay.
Thomas is here, says, I have a certain mark on my body that I was born with.
Hmm.
Does it mark where I was injured in a past life or something else?
I'm gonna look at injury first.
Yeah.
Because yes or no questions can't become decision trees. Yes, and it was a bullet wound. It was a bullet wound, and okay.
Huh.
I asked if it inflames when you have anxiety, and it said no. That often happens with old wounds. Well, I'm going to look. Okay, at what point in that past life does Thomas get this wound? I can't believe it. My amber just shot off the board, but it said receding. It was receding and release. You actually saw this injury as a release. I'm going to pull pull another little thing in to throw in for. Okay, we're going to throw one more. Okay. I don't have that one. You were older. That's what I was looking for. You were older, and the old grudge you were fighting with someone for at the time had to do with the past life.
Hmm.
So you're fighting with your karma. And that's why you carry it, because it's really that kind of a wound.
Yeah. Wow. Um,
Yeah.
Fascinating, really. So the first card that I pulled is from the Chakra Insight deck.
Hmm.
And we've got dreams. So this is messages, signs, symbols, and guidance. So when I think about that in terms of your question, I think to myself that the symbol is the mark on the body. The symbol represents something, right? So then I went to the past life cards, and I want to say that it's possible that you've had dreams about this situation that surrounds the mark, like that moment in time, like a snapshot, and maybe you've had a reoccurring dream and you can't quite figure out, like, this makes no sense to me whatsoever. I think that that's what this is about.
He's carrying the trauma in his genes,
yeah.
enough to mark your body.
Yeah, I've got persecution and inquisition. I've got authority figures. I've got love life. And I got Egypt.
You've been carrying that around for a long time.
Right. So I wonder if you were in trouble for something that long ago, you basically could, be persecuted for looking sideways, like the witches in Salem, for example. So I wonder to myself if you were persecuted for something or judged for doing something that you actually didn't do, and it scarred you so deeply that it affected everything. And I sort of feel like that had something to do with a partner, with your love life.
It could work.
Yeah. Thank you so much for asking the question, Thomas. Hi, Lady Saul. Nice to see you. Mika says, hello, would love a past life reading. How many lives and who?
We can do one, kid. Because if you want, past life reading, you can come get a long one. And we'll try to look at all of them. But I was taught by my astrologer friend who got me into understanding past lives in my 30s that you have 3 or 4 past lives that are actively working in this one at any one time.
Yep.
But then I read and I meditate now on past lives, and they're saying they all just stack on each other. But I think it's more the fact that, if you had all the thousands of past lives ringing around in your head, you'd go nuts. Now, you do stay with certain soul families and keep butting up against them. I hope Thomas is rid of the ones he had, but since they seem to stab him and injure him. I'm going to look at, I think I'm going to start it with the cards because I'm missing a stone. And trust me, you don't know what the other side of my desk looks like. You don't want to wait while I dig that.
I do want to say that Lise says, wow, spot on. And my favorite book is All Quiet on the Western Front about World War I. It seems my lives are based from England. I have anxiety close to PTSD. Thank you both. And Thomas says it must have been it must have been fatal due to location. Thank you, Nancy Jean. Karma has caught up to me this lifetime, Kelly, so that's why love isn't true this lifetime.
Okay, well, it said you were older. It also could be just because they stabbed you when you were older. We get more fragile.
Yeah.
This is Mika.
Miss Mika.
Miss Mika. Okay. Miss Mika. Okay. In the past life, you had a chance to make choices and you didn't make them. You could have made them, but you didn't make them because you had strength. And you were the biggest problem you had was getting motivated to do something, but you still had a quiet strength in you, and you just never, for some reason, you didn't put your life together in this time. And I'm getting a male who didn't choose to pull it together. Let's say, so in this life, I don't know, Mika, were you always the good little student in the back of the class that had all the answers because you weren't going to let that happen again? And this card for me, right side up or upside down, it's the same. It's that you've had a good family life and you've made money, but you still want to make more adventurous choices of your own. And that's how that life's reflecting itself. Because in that life, you had strength, but you had a chance to make choices, didn't make them, and you didn't move forward. You kind of stay stuck in one spot. Let me see.
Hmm.
I see a, I see a, um, formal education was important there. I think it was in Europe or China. And so when you came in this life, you decided I'm going to be the good little student. I'm going to create a home life. I'm going to create the financial standards I need. But you like didn't turn yourself into the queen of coins, or the king of coins. You make what you need to make, and because you always want to have the flexibility you have in the page to move on, and you have. I'm going to try throwing some stones and see just a couple things about this guy, about who you were. I can see who you are now. You're very good at what you do. Let's see.
I feel like you fought you fought. I I don't know how to say this. So it's like your parents or your family wanted you to follow in a particular path, in a particular direction. It didn't matter what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's not a big jump on my part, but the cards are literally showing me that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I have wars and battles. Um, I don't think that this is a war or battle in the physical sense, but this is a war or battle that you fought against them versus you, right? So constantly butting heads about your direction, not feeling heard, not feeling like you were
Well,
allowed to
I'll,
do
I'll
what you.
be I'll be I'll be more blunt, Mika. Your family wanted a boy.
Wow, see,
Your clarity is that the family wanted a boy. You came in as a girl with all the power and the strength to do what you needed to do.
no,
So, and you're blooming as you get older. You weren't going to get it when you're young, and you're very straightforward and upfront about what you want, where you go, and what you want to do now. But
absolutely.
because you were stymied, I think you probably thought coming in this time as a female be a little different, but as a male, he was stymied too. So it's apparently.
I just want to real quick show you, Mika. I have like
Mhm.
the best cards here for you.
Okay. Well, go over and make yourself big so
Uh,
she can see them.
this is why I was sort of saying what I was saying. So I got the great achievement, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got family, friends, and guides.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a creative endeavor. I've got supportive connections and planning and action.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got trust and faith. And it's like you continue to lock horns, you put your faith in yourself, and you went full steam ahead and continue to surprise everyone around you. Probably not getting a whole lot of appreciation or like, wow, I'm so proud of you kind of moments, but this sense of pride within you because you're doing it and you're showing them that you could do it. Like, see, I was right. Kind of like that kind of
Mm-hmm.
vibe, but not from an ego standpoint, just from a like, look at me, look at what I can do standpoint, which I think is fascinating.
See, um,
Yes.
can I get a past life reading? Anything that pops up. So we're going to do the quick one.
Look at Nancy Jean. She's like already ahead of me.
She's getting there.
Mika said that was fascinating and 100%.
No, okay.
Thomas says thank you for the readings. Hi, Kiba.
You're so much better at naming people. When I do lives, people, you will find out Nancy doesn't call out any names.
Well, that's why you need your secretary, Kelly.
I know. My cousin across the border. Oh, well, girl. Okay. Past life, you achieved a lot of goals. You learned how to not control, and you learned how to be patient. And guess what? You brought that into this world. You wait until you can consider all the options that are given to you. You get a lot of information buzzing around you all the time. You're in the process of selecting the right um, element to go ahead with, because you are a man. You are one of those people that's a master manifester, because you take your time and you let the right option roll up to you. I read a quote this weekend about there's a Chinese proverb that says, you can wait, you can wear out your steel boots stomping to move ahead instead of waiting for the right opportunity to come. You don't waste a minute of wait, on bad opportunity, because I got to keep going. I got to keep going. You're very patient. You're very good. And then you're one of those past lives where your past life, what you learned there, you brought in and you're using it beautifully. And I hope I'm right, because I would hate it to say, but that I really feel that's right. What'd you get, Kelly?
I got basically sort of what you got. So I got the trees. So to me, this is either feeling very connected to your ancestors,
Mm-hmm.
tapping into the inner wisdom that they sort of passed down to us. Um, Being very in touch with nature. Maybe nature's your happy place.
Mm-hmm.
I got great gratitude. So sounds like, as Nancy Jean was saying, like you're very positive. You lift yourself up and just sort of um, take things from a different perspective than most people do. Like you don't let things weigh you down. And then I've got the finances. And so based on these cards, that implies to me that your heart is abundant, right? You're abundant with joy, because you have realized that the way to happiness is by going the route of great gratitude. So what that tells you about your past life to me is that you were, that you learned the lessons that you were supposed to and brought that forward, that spiritual sort of side of yourself, which I think is lovely. I wish that I could have done that in my past life.
That was not your journey.
Right? I know.
Wasn't mine either.
So next up, we have Tasty Melon, which, by the way, I love the name.
Mhm.
Do I know my first boyfriend from a past life?
Okay. I'm going to ask if the two of you are linked karmically, because that's
Yeah.
okay.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for being here. This is Nancy Jean from Nancy Jean's Garden. Please do go show my lovely friend some love if you're not already subscribed to her channel. Also, check out our website. Lots of information and resources on there. She builds grids. She does readings. Fantastic stuff. And next week, Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we will be on Nancy Jean's channel. So if you don't get your question answered today, you can, of course, come next week and do that.
Yeah, and you'd think you'd called it quits with him. That's probably why you're so shocked he showed up. A lot of miscommunication, a lot of imbalance in that relationship. Finally, you came to terms with it. So you said, I'm not doing this again. And then you did it again.
Yep.
Yeah. He's not harmed you. You've come to terms with who he is. So you two just keep butting into each other so you can remind each other of where you were.
That's interesting. I got the Ten of Pentacles. I'm shuffling another card here. I got the Ten of Pentacles. So, that's the stability. That's the foundation, right? The security,
Mm-hmm.
the happy home. Next to that, I've got the Four of Cups. Someone's feeling bored. Someone's feeling stuck. Like I should be thrilled. I should be jumping up and down for joy, but it's like, whatever. Right?
Like, didn't I meet you 300 years ago?
Yeah. And then next to that, I've got the Fool card, which is new beginnings. And literally I was shuffling this while I was talking. We've got the Healing Heart, which is love, acceptance, and romance.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer to your question is yes. Yes, Yes, yes. You have a very strong connection with this person. A very strong connection with this person.
But I think he's there to remind her what she shouldn't do.
Well, it's interesting because I have the Queen of Swords on the bottom of the deck, so I wonder, Tasty Melon, if you are an air sign. And below that, I have the King of Cups, so I'd be interested if he was a water sign. And so, this is, he's all about love and, nurturing, and like, you're all about truth, being very strategic, very, very careful, very cautious. Check and double check and triple check your plans always, one step in front of everybody, where this other person is a little more like, who really cares what other people think? I want to do what makes me happy. So it balances you out, but it also freaks you out at the same time. She says, yes, I have high standards because of him. He showed me what love is. There you go.
Okay.
Awesome.
I have a first boyfriend like that, but he was the drummer in the band, and I am not a groupie, and I'm not going to follow the band. So
I love that. All right, our very last question of the day, the Queen of Sheba. Can I have a reading, please? I'm not sure if the Queen of Sheba is still here. Hi, Cold Toes. Well, Cold Toes has popped in. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We're just answering our last question, Cold Toes, and
we'll be on my channel next week, Cold Toes.
Yeah, next Sunday at 3 p.m. we'll be on with Nancy Jean. But thank you very much for popping in. I absolutely adore your name, by the way, Cold Toast. I think it's so cute.
She lives in Alaska. It makes sense.
I know. It's lovely.
The only person I know that lives in a colder place than you do. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Okay, here we go. Okay, in your past life, you had money, you lost money, and it's because of some actions that you took. And actually, maybe actions you didn't even take. And so what's happened in this life is you're very, very, I got to keep control of stuff. You're very strong. You got 2 4s, you got 4 here, and you're trying to build a new base. You've managed to find harmony and love, which is what most people write me about. Most people don't worry about the other stuff, but you're trying to move forward in your life because you still have some parts of your life that are conflicted and you can't figure out why. But in this past life, you kind of lost everything that was monetary. So this time you watch your money very closely and it's working out for you. Let's see where you're going from here. I think you're going to pick a certain talent that you have and you're going to really shine it up. You've worked with all those swords, you're going to shine that sword up. I read the 5 of Swords very differently than other people. And right now you're not ready to make the jump because when you make the next jump, you got another 10 here, you're going to be cutting off a lot of stress and pressure. Let's see, why aren't you moving forward? You haven't found the right people. But they're coming. I see them. You haven't found the people who really help you feel whole. And so you're waiting for the right people and once you connect with them, it'll first be almost on a business-like basis, and then it'll be on a close emotional basis, and then you'll be able to move happily.
Super interesting. I kind of got the same kind of thing as you did. I've got the 10 of Cups that came out first, which is the
Mm-hmm.
Happy Family card. However, it's in the reverse.
Mm-hmm. I
Um,
do you read that reverse as a negative? I always read the Ten of Cups, no matter which way it goes.
well,
It's maybe not as much of a Ten of Cups as it could be, but it's still
yeah,
good.
I just feel like with this, based on the other cards that I've got,
Mm-hmm.
it's feeling a lack of that like I want that happy family, but I'm not feeling
Mm-hmm.
it. I picked up on the same thing that you did. Things happen really fast, like lots of action, lots of speed. I've got the 5 of Cups, so this is, it's loss. It's. I mean, Nancy Jean said that she got the 5 of Swords. I got the 5 of Cups. Like you're feeling some sort of loss or having to let go of something,
Change.
something
Five
that's,
of change.
yeah, something holding on to you, right? Got the 10 of Swords on the bottom of the deck, so literally walking away from something. I got this card here, which this card, I mean, the image is just
Mm-hmm.
tugs at my heartstrings. So I don't know if there was an issue with a fatherly figure where you felt that you didn't like there was some kind of forgiveness that
Mm-hmm.
needed to happen, some kind of burden that needs to be released, but you might be carrying that forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I got for you. So um, I think to myself that maybe doing some sort of a releasing sort of ceremony, um, or journaling might help you if that resonates. Queen of Sheba is not here, so we can't get any
Mm-hmm.
sort of feedback, but that's what I got. So, um, hi Andrea. Oh, you are still here. Okay. Let us know if that makes any sense to you. For sure. Cold Toe says, "Oops, got here too late. It's all good. I'll try next week." Absolutely. So, 3 p.m. Eastern time, Nancy Jean's Garden. We will be there next Sunday live. Nancy Jean will probably put the post up during the week. So if you have your bell notifications checked off, you can go into the comment section in her community tab and put your questions in there if to make sure that you get your question answered if you want to do that. Yes?
That's right. That's the best way for us to know, and it really helps us figure out how to time the questions and what to pull.
Absolutely. And do you have anything else coming up, Nancy Jean, that you want anyone to know about this
I'm
week?
going to probably be doing a show on Tuesday at 1 o'clock my time, Central Time, which is 2 o'clock your time, and then you go down the scale for all of the time
Gotcha.
zones. And I will be. I think I'm going to be talking more about the tree I found. I found my.
Yeah, you found your tree.
I found the tree with the lumpy bumpies on it, the gnarls on it, and
Yep.
I went out before I got sick with the flu. I went out and talked to it, and I did talk to a couple of my neighbors, and they don't remember seeing the yellow, the path that I know now to be the ley line. I've gone out and played a little bit with the energy out there, but I find energy in the outside world to be overwhelming, so
Right.
I can't do for too long. We're trying to decide if a couple of people have written me that after they saw the show that a week ago, last Tuesday, they went out and found a tree like that in their neighborhood and were using their dowsing rods and trying to figure it all out.
I love that. So
It's
fascinating.
it's fascinating.
Um, so make sure that you're subscribed to Nancy Jean if you're not already. She is always offering amazing content about all manner of things. And if nothing else, it is informational. I find it fascinating, but it's informational. I will be on with Allie from Heart and Soul Connected tomorrow on Heart and Soul Connected at 12 noon Eastern Time. On Wednesday, I will be back here at 9 p.m. Eastern to do Achieving Wellness, where we will be talking about some tips to help us navigate the winter blahs. And on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Dr. Lena Rodriguez will be here at Dozen Cats. I'm really excited about that. doing the interrogation episode. So that's like a roundtable discussion about all things tarot. And then, of course, next Sunday, we're on with Nancy Jean. So from us to you guys, have yourself a fantastic...
One more thing. It's January. I do my 12-month readings in December and January, so we're getting close to the middle of the month. And you need to, if you want to come and do that, you can go to my website, www.crystaldirections.com. Go in the store and it'll tell you how to sign up for that. So
awesome. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us. Have yourself an enjoyable Sunday afternoon, and until we see each other again, we wish you many blessings.
bye.
Bye everybody.